What's up, my friends? Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to serve anyone who's looking to level up from their current situation. This show is dedicated to helping raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts out there, those who want more out of life, those who want to be more, those who want to do more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a good freaking person is who we are, and living our life to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Yo, and if you haven't subscribed it, go ahead and smash that button so that you never miss another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about a term that is called aggressive patience. I'm going to help you understand it. I'm going to help you recognize it. I'm going to help you give you some ideas so that you can learn how you can build it for yourself. And I'm also going to give you a couple of ways for you to be able to maintain that aggressive patience. Because unleashing the aggressive patience that's within you is the key to accelerating your success. You see, it's all about being able to harness the power of patience, but not just patience, patience with purpose, my friends. So let's talk about understanding really what aggressive patience is, right? So aggressive patience is not just about sitting passively. It's more about like maintaining a proactive stance while waiting for the right opportunities to roll by. Like aggressive patience, it combines assertiveness, it combines persistence, and it combines patience. Like aggressive patience might sound confusing at first, but it's actually a smart way for you to reach your goals. Like picture this. You have something that you want to achieve in life, right? But like you know that if you jump right into that shit, like maybe if you jump in too quickly, things might not work out because you might not see all the angles. You might not see you're just rushing into things. So instead of rushing into things, you stay alert and you keep looking for chances so that you can make things happen, right? And so you're readily able, like by doing that, you're ready to act boldly when it's needed, right? And so you're also okay with waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And so those two come hand in hand. While having aggressive patience, it means that you stay boldly, like when it's needed, like you have patience, but you're waiting for that perfect moment so you can fucking strike, right? It's kind of like uh like having aggressive patience is kind of like staying ready versus getting ready, like because you never know when that chance is going to come around you, right? So instead of getting caught with like your pants down, like figuratively speaking, um you're going to be ready for whatever comes your way. It's kind of like being patient in a race, like waiting for that perfect moment to pass your opponent. Like if you drove a race car, if you even drive like go-karts, or if you try to pass a friend, you know that it's all about waiting for the perfect moment. Like if you do it too soon, he's going to block you in and he's not going to let you pass. Like whether it be your friend or your opponent or someone you're trying to race with, like you got to wait for that perfect moment, right? So you got to stay persistent with the pressure. Like patience is not like, and this is a term, this is something I want to clarify. Aggressive patience, what I mean by this is not just having the patience and just sitting back and waiting for things to go on. No, it's about being persistent, keeping the pressure on, but knowing that being patient for the right opportunity to come, right? So it's about keeping your foot on the gas, but at the same time, remaining patient for the time for you to make that pass, right? If you make that pass too soon, you might crash. Like you actually both might crash because you're going to go in, that opponent's going to try to block you and you might hit him in the back, you might spin him out, you might crash too, right? If you do it too late, that race might be over and you might miss your opportunity to pass him. But if you keep pushing aggressively, you're going to create that opportunity. And when that opportunity strikes, you're going to be able to fucking go right in for it. And so having the right mindset also plays an essential role in having aggressive patience. Like you need to be resilient. You need to have determination, and you need to have adaptability. Those three are all characteristics of a winner mindset. resilience, determination, and adaptability, right? So let's transition into having aggressive patience. Like, you need to be able to really recognize when you're impatient, when you're being impatient. Like, because when we are impatient, it causes stress and it causes us to make mistakes, right? And so you got to be able to recognize when you're rushing into decisions. Like, recognize when you're becoming frustrated by your setbacks, by those speed bumps, by those hurdles, by those things that fucking life keeps throwing at you. Then you're like, oh my god, take a deep breath and have aggressive patience with that. Like, you need to be willing to pause in the heat of the moment and look at this situation from a third perspective, because more times than not, when you're going through like that difficult moment, when you're going through that difficult situation, when you're going through that thing that seems like it's impossible to overcome in that moment, we all have narrow vision. Like, we're so focused on the problem that we don't see the fucking solution. And so when the vision, when you're in that moment, having the vision of a broad vision versus a narrow type of vision, like, it helps us see things that are right in front of us, but like in the heat of the moment are blind to our eyes. Like, so that's why having that broad type of vision is important, like seeing things from that 50,000 foot level. And then setting realistic expectations is also important to having aggressive patience. Like, I've learned that it's all about embracing the journey, and while embracing the journey, also understanding that success takes time and it takes a buttload of fucking effort. And I say that because nowadays, like with social media and with all this, I feel like everyone tries to paint this get rich fast type of picture, and that's so far from the truth. Like, they want to make people think that there isn't a need for hard work. They want to make people think that there isn't a need for you to dedicate yourself to a craft. They want to make people think like, oh, all this shit just happens overnight. When the reality is, it's fucking totally the opposite of that. Like, it takes hard work. It takes showing up every single fucking day. It takes doing the hard shit that no one else wants to do. Like, it takes putting your fucking feelings aside. Like, if you don't feel like it, if you're sick, if you're just in a bad mood, like whatever it is, it takes putting those freaking feelings aside and sticking to the motherfucking plan. Because you know that by sticking to the plan, it's going to get you further ahead, because everyone else is giving in to their emotions. And so having aggressive patience comes really hand in hand with that, right? And so you got to be willing to develop and work on your patience. Like, and take this from someone that has always had this, like, I want it all and I want it now type of mentality. Like, bro, that's like the worst way to look at things. I had that approach growing up, and sometimes I gotta smack myself out of that fucking mindset, because it only, like, it just makes us impatient, it makes us stressed, it makes us compare ourselves to other people, and that's the worst thing you can do, right? And so my daily meditation practice that I do has really been one of the things that has helped me the most in really being all right with the present moment while we strive to achieve great things in our life, man. And so how do we build aggressive patience, right? I feel like there isn't really no set in stone right way, like this is the motherfucking way, but what works for others, like, it might not work for some, like, and what work for some, it might not work for others. But in my opinion, right, like, I found that really there are kind of like three key traits one must have in building your aggressive patience, right? You got to have goal alignment, you got to be able to embrace your setbacks, and you got to be able to have consistency over intensity. And that one took me some time to learn, because I was always about intensity versus consistency, and that I had it all wrong, right? So in goal alignment, like, I find it important to align your short-term goals with your long-term objectives. And that might sound like such an easy thing to say. It might sound like such a common sense thing to say, but really nowadays common sense is not so common. So remember this phrase: your short-term goals pave the road to your long-term goals, right? And while aligning those goals that you have, it's very important for you to have a strategic plan, like a roadmap that you can follow, and also a roadmap that you can reference back to when you see yourself falling off a course, because everything will not always go as planned. And so having this roadmap that you can, like, reference, like in construction we have schedules, and then you adjust the schedule as things happen, and you're always able to reference back to the schedule, and typically you provide a week look ahead so that people know what's coming. And when the roadblocks hit, when setbacks happen, when things don't go as planned, we readjust and we fucking hit it hard again, right? And this one, like this is why the next one is really being able to embrace your setbacks, right? So those hurdles, those speed bumps, those detours are all part of the fucking process. Like, and if you think that you're never gonna have those, you're always gonna be getting tripped up. You're always gonna be stressed. You're always gonna be not able to handle those problems with the right mindset, because you're always gonna be looking at it from a place of lack, rather a place of growth, right? And so when you're able to look at like those problems, instead of being like problems, are you able to look at those as opportunities for growth? Instead of as seeing those as setbacks, like you use them as fuel to continue to go hard, like to fucking go harder every day, to use them to bounce back even fucking stronger. Like I always say the comeback is always stronger, right? You use them to become smarter and also faster. Like, and by doing that, you build up your resiliency. And if you're unsure what that means, resiliency means like it's the capacity to withstand and recover quickly from difficulties. And when you do that, you build your mental toughness muscle, like up here in the brain. And when you have that mental toughness on point, like when you're able to flex that shit, bro, you can overcome a lot of things that you once think that you couldn't. You start looking for hard situations. You start looking like, man, what else are you gonna fucking throw at me? Because I'm ready. Like, I got hyped there for a moment because I'm deep into the Live Hard program, and today's day 30. But when this comes out, I'll already be finished with phase 2 of the Live Hard program. I have one more phase to complete that year. And that shit has brought so much fucking mental toughness up here to my mind. And I look at whatever challenge come my way, and I'm like, oh, bring it. What's up? What else? And I like, I just love it. I really love it, and I recommend that shit to everyone, right? And so, like, mental toughness on that subject, like, really, it just leads us to being consistent over having intensity, right? And I used to be the opposite. I used to think of, oh, intensity. But then what happens is you bring so much intensity to the game that you rarely are consistent, right? And now, what I've learned from this Live Hard program, because it's all about consistency. It's all about doing the small things every day, because those are the things that will help you make the most progress in life. It's all about having that incremental daily progress that will get you further ahead in the long run than that short-term, random, intensive burst of work. Like, that doesn't work. Even though like you think that you can make a lot of progress, and sometimes you can, like in like short time frames, time blocks. I use that a lot on my schedule. You can make a lot of progress, right? But if you have consistent time blocks, you can make even so much more progress. And so when you're able to show up for yourself on a daily actionable plan, bro, you become unstoppable. And so, like, I remember back when I was building my turbo Camaro, like at first I would look for like time blocks. I would look for my day, like where can I like tackle like 8 to 10 hours of my day on just fucking working on this Camaro. And like, well, yes, there's like some activities, there's some tasks, like where you're building a car, where you're building a race car, that particular task might require the entire day of work. Like there are some of them, right? But back then, I was building a fucking high rise. I was the leader there. I was I was fucking in the heart of the moment building a fucking multi-story high rise, and I decided to go build a turbo Camaro. Like, and so what I found, that it was very difficult for me to allocate an entire day of work, because I was building a big ass fucking project, and that was very difficult to find in my schedule. So what ended up working out for me is tackling things an hour each night. And when I started doing that, like over the long run, I got so much more done than just looking for big ass time blocks, because an hour a day really goes a long way, man. And so it took having aggressive patience to get that done. Like, and then I got that bitch done. Like, for sure I got it done. Like, you know it. And now my turbo Silverado is just as fast, but actually more reliable than that car once was. And talk about aggressive patience. That turbo Silverado has taught me aggressive patience, right? But it's all It's all part of the journey, and I've learned that it's embracing it and using every stepping stone that you go through as an opportunity for growth, as an opportunity to become better, as an opportunity to be able to come at things with a stronger, faster, better mindset, right? And so we've talked about understanding it, we've talked about having it, we've talked about building it. Now let's talk about how to maintain the aggressive patience. And really, there are three main points to this, right? Number one, you got to celebrate your progress. Number two, you got to adjust your strategies. And number three, you got to be willing to cultivate a supportive network around you, right? And so let's talk about the first one there, and celebrating your progress, right? The main thing here with this one is that you got to be able to celebrate your small victories along the way. And what this does is that it reinforces you, and up in here in the mind, um, and sometimes really in your heart and your soul, it reinforces the positive momentum that you are truly creating for yourself. And it also builds up your motivation, because progress equals happiness. Remember that. That's a simple one that you could remember. And then when you don't feel happy, ask yourself, why? How can I make progress for myself? And when you start making progress, that equals happiness. Like such a basic term, and it took me such a long time to understand that. But it's so true. And when you're able to consistently like highlight to your mind all the progress that you're actually making, no matter how fucking small it is, there's a way bigger chance that you're going to be happier along the way, because you're seeing the progress, you're seeing the movement, you're seeing that you're not stagnant, you're seeing that you're fucking, holy shit, I'm doing better today than I was yesterday, and look how last week I wasn't over there and this week I'm over here. And like it creates momentum, it creates positive, it gives you motivation of fucking, all right, next week, like imagine where I'm going to be next week, and then you fucking show up for yourself, right? And then you got to be willing to adjust your strategies. Like, so in order for you to maintain this aggressive patience that we're talking about today, you got to be willing to adjust your strategies, because what works now may not work later. Actually, I know for sure that what works now probably will not work later. You got to be able to adjust those strategies. And it's important for you to remain flexible in your approach while you aim for that specific goal. Like, that's the whole part of leveling up and doing better today than you did yesterday, because the mindset that you have today will help you solve the problems of today. But in order to solve these bigger problems, in order to solve these bigger goals, in order to achieve this bigger things that you have in life, it's going to take you growing, it's going to take you evolving, it's going to take you leveling up, right? And so that's why it's important for you to maintain your patience while you like adopt your plan, like particularly when you're being faced with unexpected challenges, because not everything will go your way. Actually, I find it that more times than not, things will not go our way, right? And so the last one here is cultivating a supportive network. This one's important because um, while you're creating this aggressive patience, this one's important because you're really, this might sound a cliche or whatever, and but it's so fucking true. And the older I get, the more I see this and the more I apply this. You are truly the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Like, you are. Like, if you hang around with 5 overweight people, I guarantee you're going to be the 6 overweight people. If you hang around with 5 high energy, high achieving people, I guarantee you're going to be the 6 high achieving, high energy type of person, because you're around that. Um, so when you surround yourself with mentors, when you surround yourself with high achievers, when you surround yourself with people who are doing things at a fucking higher level than you are, the conversations are just different, my friends. Like, and I mean that in an entirely positive way. It's so true. Like, because a person that's been through the path that you want to go through knows many things that you don't know. Like, they're able to save you time. They're able to tell you, hey, I've tried that way. That's not such a good idea, my friend. Instead, why don't you try this? Like, it may not seem logical right now, but trust me, I've been through there, and doing it this way is going to get you more progress, and it's going to get you there faster, and it's going to probably even make you more money, because you're literally buying time. You're buying time to do things at a faster pace, because those people have been through there, right? And so to drive this point home, like, your supportive network are the resources that will encourage you and reinforce the mindset of aggressive patience, because they know what it takes to be successful, right? And so remember this. In the journey towards success, it's not just about reaching the finish line. It's about mastering the art of aggressive patience so that you can accelerate towards your goals with purpose and with precision. Like stay driven, stay patient, and keep pushing fucking forward no matter what, my friends. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground and I'm calling out all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back and let's prove to the world that we're truly some badass motherfuckers. Those of you who made it to the end of the episode, I want to say that you got yourself a win, man. And I truly appreciate you for investing your valuable time into the Live Wide Open podcast. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others improve is the mission that God has tasked us with. We are driven individuals working on breaking the fucking stereotype and becoming the best that we can be. Join me on this journey while I always help as many motorsport enthusiasts as possible to create the best lives that we can imagine. Yo, and if you still haven't subscribed yet, my friends, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and smash that subscribe button so that you never miss another episode. You can follow me on my Instagram. My handle is WideOpenRandy. And if you felt any connection to today's message, I genuinely ask that you please share this on your stories, because those are the actions that get more people to see this. Those are the actions that get more people to hear about this podcast. And ultimately, those are the actions that help us spread the message. I'll catch up with you guys on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friends. Peace.